Okay, today I have no energy or I don't want to answer one of the more complex questions. So I'm going to choose one simple question, which is hmm, how do you know when to speak and when to stay quiet? I think I already answered this question, but I'm going to answer again because something changed, and I'm glad. I mean, it's a good change overall because now I'm someone. I I am someone really difficult and complex because I'm not a duality, or I don't have certain things established, or how can I explain it, like um, with me things are not black and white. It could be both, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm hypocrite or I'm someone fake or whatever. It just means that as a human, like everybody else, we change and we adapt to the circumstances, and we are infinite in that sense. We can exist in different places at the same time in a broad range um, of life, let's say, because I I am someone really, or I like to think that I'm someone realistic, which also carries um, a pessimistic tone because reality more often than not is chaotic, completely chaos. I mean, there's order or logic in chaos, but what I'm trying to say is you are more um, problems are more probable than solutions. Does that make sense? I mean, what I'm trying to say is I'm someone realistic, which means I'm someone pessimistic. Um, but at the same time, I'm someone optimistic and someone who is always um, trying to see the bright or the good side in everything. And that's what I mean when I say that I'm not black or white. I am both. And I can be both at the same time. Because, for example, mm, the realistic part of my life keeps me grounded and allows me to really achieve goals and improve because I'm being honest with me, and I'm giving myself a clear vision, a clear perspective, a realistic perspective. On the other side, I'm optimistic when it comes to, like um, create this sense of hope and motivation. Like, even if the odds are against me, I'm going to do it. I really believe in myself, even though I have one chance in a million. I believe in myself. I'm gonna try, and the relation with the question, how do you know when to speak and when to stay quiet? I you know, it depends of the type of person I'm talking to, and the situational awareness, the social awareness. Because, for example, and these are real examples of myself, and that's why I'm feeling proud and happy about me, about changing. Because usually when I was maybe a teenager, yeah, let's say a teenager, or 17, mm, I was always pointing out the flaws and the weaknesses, and I still do that with myself, because I don't gain nothing focusing in my strengths and my capability. And you you almost have no room of improvement in that area or that side. You have a huge room of improvement in your weaknesses, in your flaws, in your in the skills you lack. So I'm always focusing, I'm always paying attention to the parts that give you more leverage or advantage, or asymmetric um, return of investment, let's say. And that means also focusing in the bad side more often than not. Because, for example, just to make it clear, for example, let's say I have 95% in discipline. I have 5% left, but that is not going to give me a lot of results. On the flip side, or on the other hand, let's say I have 38% in charisma. Bro, I really have a lot to gain if I work or train my charisma and a lot of stuff. So, like, there's this 5% versus this 62%. So, I mean, so yeah, there's a clear imbalance. And so, okay, I'm always focused on the bad side of things, which annoys some people. um, I mean, I can understand why, because it seems that I'm always, like, trying to diminish maybe achievements or results or anything, which is not. I I'm always watching where you can do things better. And okay, I in the past I lacked this sense of social awareness, which I feel like now I have. And what I'm trying to say is, now I how do I know when to speak and when to stay quiet? First of all, I have to know with I have to know what kind of person I'm talking to or dealing with. Second of all, the context plus the the type of person I'm with, the context and the person. Mm, and by context, I mean not only the situation. For example, they are trying to uh, pass exam to university, or also the emotional side of things. How do they feel? They are depressed, they are happy, they are excited. And you know, that's how I know when to speak and when to stay quiet, and more important, what to what things I have to say, what kind of words even, and how to put those words together to really mm, get across the message, or so yeah. And and I realized that I'm improving, because lately I've been able to think, pause, and don't say what I was going to say, because it was not mm, right or wise to say it. So now I'm capable of doing it, because it doesn't happen just once or by luck. I'm conscious about it. In the past week, for example, I had this situation 4 times, and 3 out of the 4 times I did the right thing. I evaluate, I analyzed the situation, and I determined the right path, the right plan, the right, you know, the right decision. So, yeah, that's how I know when to speak and when to stay quiet. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I'm feeling really proud about it, because yeah, I this is something I didn't I'm not sure if this is something I didn't have or I didn't care, because I was someone who cared more about the results. I mean, not the results, but I mean the logical part of the mechanical or the system, the structure, more than the individuals. Yeah, I was someone who cared. I have fuck something in my feet. uh, oh yeah, I'm going to finish this. Ah, fuck. It's like, how do you call this in English? When your muscle just. Mm, I'm sorry, but you understand. And yeah, sorry, I don't have the energy to really, my English is not Englishing.